Hello, everyone, and
Hi.
welcome to a new podcast.
Fun.
Recorded by me. I'm Andy. I'm 15 years old. Um, and I really love. I like Kesha, and I like cats. And I have my co-host here, Kevin.
I'm Kevin. Amazing. I'm 15 years old. I am a fan of Nicki Minaj, Lady Gaga, Cupcake, of course.
Mhm.
I enjoy talking shit.
Yeah,
It's one of my hobbies.
yeah, I feel
You're
that.
gonna see a lot of that.
Okay. Just for our first podcast, just because we want to start out slow and nice and steady, because, we have no platform whatsoever, and we just kind of wanted to dip our toes in the water.
We didn't plan this out at all, by the way.
No. No, we did not. Just kind
Yeah.
of talk, I guess, and
Here.
on this podcast, I feel like the things we're gonna range talking about, and I'm sure Kevin can back me up when I say this, is not so much politics and what's going on in the world, but more like what's going on in the film industry, music industry.
More so a down-to-earth view on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because also, like, another thing is, we are very casual people, and we're not gonna, like, get into, like, we tend to have different opinions sometimes, so we don't really clash about it.
I think when talking about certain things, such as politics and all that, the conversation tends to get a little tense. So just trying to keep our heads in control and such, I feel like that's probably our best bet. Plus, we are very young and we can't completely say that we're the wisest people in the world. So
I can vote in 3 years, pretty much 2. Well, because I'm almost 60, but that's, like, such a crazy thing to think about. But, like, also, some episodes will be somewhat, like, just kind of fun and crazy. But then there's going to be episodes where we actually talk about real issues that are affecting people. And, like, things that have happened to us, our stories, our experiences with things. Just to shed some light on, some problems in the world, things that need to be dealt with. Things that we feel strongly about, which we feel strongly about a lot of things.
And
so it's going to be a fun time.
I think that especially since we don't have the same views, it's kind of like a two-sided perspective on things, I would say.
Yeah, I like that.
I think it would be when we do talk about things, it's all very it's very, like, I enjoy conversing with you, just because, like,
you learn a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, and I get to see the different perspectives, and I get to see just kind of everything, all right, I'm going to put my head in this person's shoes, and I try to understand everyone I can, because if I don't try and understand, then I'm going to literally get nowhere, I'm just going to stay as stubborn as I possibly can, and what's the fun in that, You got to live life in a fun way, Make new friends.
It works better with us, too, because, like, if you really try to, like, put your head in that position, you kind of realize that people nowadays have such differing opinions, because if they're going to try to convey their opinion to the other side, they're going to do it in a hostile way that comes off too strong, too opinionated.
Yes.
But we tend to, like, take it slow, say what we need to say, but don't be too forcing about it, because people are so opinionated these days.
Very
just
true.
Trying to push their beliefs and opinions on you, and I do not believe that should be at all.
And
it's fine to convince someone, persuade someone, but too far is too far.
Yes. Besides that, though, we will be talking about other things. I do want to play. I don't know. Sure. I didn't mention this to you, Kevin, but I do want to play games. Maybe just like some fun.
Oh, I like that idea.
Some fun game. Play some games, and we talk about some interests we have. Like I personally like Kesha, and he likes Lady Gaga, and we would probably chat about some things because some things about them, the music industry, the film industry. I'm a big horror buff. I love horror movies.
I love horror.
We both enjoy American Horror Story, which
I'm starting to get into writing horror.
And me as well. I do like writing too.
It's fun. Just explore a lot.
Yes, because like when you write, especially since like when you have a specific emotion, like maybe you're sad, maybe you're happy, maybe you're mad, whatever. You can kind of put that emotion into your writing, and I think that's so fun because when you write, it's not only an outlet, but it's like if you push yourself, your mind can be something so great. And honestly, that's what is fun about writing.
It becomes a canvas.
Exactly.
You could just take all those emotions and splatter them all over this canvas and create something that has never been done before because it's you.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is unique, and like if you take you and put it out there, it's never been done before.
Yeah. When I write,
that makes any sense. I'm sorry.
I no, it does absolutely. When I write, I would definitely say it's not only that, but it's an outlet for my when I'm sad, because the only thing that like writing is what has me here today. Like I wrote a lot of poetry. I used to write a lot of poetry. I'm getting into more short stories now. I like to write something similar to most writers. I like to write something that people... Okay, let me explain this. They don't understand at first glance. If that makes any sense. I try to confuse them a little bit, and then they read it back and they're like, oh.
That's the way you gotta do it. That's the way you're gonna grab the attention.
And that's why it's like a challenge. And it takes that outlet, like it takes my mind, and it's like, let's focus on this instead. That's what I like to do, especially since we'll get into that later. We'll talk about that. Talk about my.
But I would say like if you're gonna like especially with writing like that, like if you're gonna have the reader read it over again and like kind of like rack their brain like, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a good way to wean out the people who are going to be uninterested in the ones who you don't even want reading your work, versus the ones who are like, okay, this is something I can get behind, because if they're even willing to read back and be like, huh, then that's the reader you want. That's the avid one who's gonna pay attention and pick up foreshadowing and key points and everything, that every subtle little detail you put in, that's what they pick up. And then it's like the people who just read it once, don't get it, get pissed and move on.
You always gotta read it twice.
We've all done it. It's not like it's uncommon, but it's a good way to.
You always gotta read it twice, though.
Filter them out,
I always say when I'm reading a book, you always have to read a sentence that doesn't make sense twice, because if you don't, then obviously that's like common sense, but you read it the first time, and the second time you think about it a little bit more. And that's why writing is so fun, because sometimes you even have to do it yourself. You have to read your sentence twice and say, does that make sense? And it's definitely a challenge, and it's honestly, one of my favorite things to do, and I'm happy you're into it too, because it's so great. It really is. But
one thing I love is like the idea of being in control and controlling things, and that's something so great about writing, because you are literally creating your own reality. You are making people. You are creating personalities that are totally new and don't even exist. You can make them however you want. You can make them live wherever you want. You are making your own place, your own world.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because you can do whatever you want with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just such a beautiful way of expression. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I'm so glad I'm getting into it.
My favorite part about that is you don't have boundaries when you're writing. Like, you can go over the absolute limit of, from, you know, like I wrote a story and I showed it to you. It was a little crazy, and that's what I like. I like the shock factor. I like not having someone to say, whoa, you know, slow that down, that's a little inappropriate, kiddo. You know, I like to enjoy myself when I'm writing, and that's the whole fun and no boundaries, I guess.
Of course.
Yeah. But other than that, I think we're going to talk about just kind of, I think...
Us.
Yeah, I think we're going to... I think we're going to range. Our topics are going to range just because we decided... I don't even know. I think it was last night. We were like, we should make a podcast. Because
this is us. We decide we're like, let's make a podcast.
Yeah.
And the next night, we make a podcast. We made logos, we made banners, we made a YouTube channel, and email. It's like, I advertise it a little bit. It's like crazy.
I mean...
But we're driven. We're ambitious.
And even if no one watches this, which is, you know, very likely since it's, you know, we have zero platforms.
Losers.
Yeah.
Creating a podcast at 9:46 at night.
Yeah, but it's so fun.
It is.
It really is
I
so
feel like
fun.
Us, like, we mesh well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I feel like we can bounce off each other pretty well as far as conversation.
And
that's good.
Just like, especially since I love talking. I really love talking. And I like actually having a conversation and actually just like doing things. I think having a podcast is really fun, you know?
One thing that pisses me off so much about school, especially mine, but this kind of happens everywhere, is that, like, you know, yeah, it's diverse, yeah, it's this, yes, that, but when you're trying to find people to talk to, the mentality is so slim to none. It's gross. You can't even have an intelligent conversation with someone. They're like, let me think of an example. Literally, like, one of the dumbest conversations I've probably ever had. Like, I can't even mention one thing. They're like some people, like, I can't even explain it, but, like, they have no idea what's going on in the world right now. They're just, like, freaking, like, sitting home, like, eating freaking chips all day. Like, like, yeah, dude, you watched this show last night? Like, shut the fuck up. Like, do you have any idea, like, what's going on?
Absolutely.
At all? And it's like, people are so oblivious. I know I'm explaining this so poorly, but, like, I'm sure, like, even with that, like, you get what I mean. It's
yeah.
Like a problem. People are so uneducated.
I think I absolutely agree with you. But, like, just so people understand our stance on political views, I'm just going to say I am a liberal. I am a Democrat. And Kevin?
I honestly, genuinely don't have a definitive answer for that, but, like, on most issues, I would say I'm pretty much in the middle, because half of me says one thing, but half of me says the other. I've always been really indecisive. That's why I'm agnostic. I can't decide. It's just a matter of, like, well, both sides have really good arguments on some topics, and I'm a person who's willing to hear out both sides. I'm not like, oh, well, this side's right, well, I'm not even going to bother listening to the other side, because this side just takes the cable. Like, no.
Yeah.
Because these issues are important. These affect our daily lives. And, you know, sometimes you need to, you know, put on another person's shoes and just say, okay, what does this person feel? And what does that person feel? And on most issues, I tend to, because I don't want to say this because, like, I don't know if it's true, but I lean a little bit more to the right. A little bit.
Yeah, I mean...
Slightly.
And I think that, you know, a lot of people like to... you said this before, a lot of people are very opinionated, and every time we try, or anyone tries to explicitly state their opinions, a lot of people get attacked for it. So
gets blasted. Absolutely.
I think just for this circumstance, I want to just say our views are our views, and some of them you may not agree with. You're maybe a hard conservative or a hard liberal, and that's fine. But just don't be a cunt. Seriously, just
that's not pretty much.
Don't be an asshole in like when
that's the key.
When coming for, listening to people talk about, what they believe in and what they do, because if you're an asshole, then that's just another opportunity wasted, if that makes any sense.
I want to say something controversial. I'm debating it.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
So, this is my opinion, and please don't blast me, but I don't know if you're like this, I really don't, but just don't take it personally, because it's not meant to be personal, but the people that really piss me off, and believe me, I do not like Trump. I don't. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I support the other side more. I'm not saying that he says anything about Republicans or conservatives, because in my opinion, he kind of strays away from that whole idea. Like, yes, he's a very hard conservative, but I don't think that he as a person should speak for conservatives as a whole, because I know conservative people that are very good people.
Who are we talking about? You never mentioned the name. Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of I think just today. No, I absolutely agree with you. I think.
I didn't get to what I was gonna say.
Get to what you were gonna say.
Alright. The people that really piss me off are the people that say Trump is not my president, and if he gets elected, I'm leaving the country. Well, bitch, you're still here, and he is your president. You may not like him. I don't like him, but I respect the fact that he's the president of the United States. So shut up.
I mean,
you can't do anything about it because he's there. He didn't do anything legally wrong. You can't impeach him. He's there. People have no respect.
I think I agree with you to an extent. Just because the day he was elected president, for me, I was so upset, and the only thing I could say was, why? And people say a lot of things out of obvious rage and such.
Of course, that's what counts, though.
Of course, I can say that. I mean, I don't want to, but yes, he is the president of the United States, and that's something I have to deal with, and I can do everything I can to hate him. Whatever, and people can do things. People can try to impeach him. People can do whatever they want. That's completely fine. But I absolutely agree with you when you say, as of right now, he did get there. He did win. And sure, maybe it was not the majority vote, but he did win. And we just have to respect the fact that he is. And
Exactly. I'm not asking people to like him, because I don't like him at all. I'm just saying it's more about respecting the country you live in, because it's so much better than other countries. Because would you people complain so goddamn much. Would you rather live in North Korea right now?
Do you know what really makes me mad?
Syria, Afghanistan, Iraq.
What really makes me mad is when a lot of people just don't realize. They think tweeting something is gonna make them a better fucking person.
That is honestly tea. That is such. Oh, it gets me so angry.
Of course, when I tweet my views, I don't do it out of disrespect towards anyone. I do it because I like to put myself out there. But when you try and tweet something like, tweet something that you think is gonna make a change in the world. Obviously not. It's not going to do anything. Like, for example, some feminists out there, I am personally feminist, some extreme feminists, are like, they tweet about someone in China who was a sex slave, and, I saw something about that, and they said, she's up there and she's admitting it, and they're like, she's so strong. I'm so proud of her, and we beat it, guys. Some dumb shit like that. And yes, obviously, obviously we're so proud of her. We're so proud of who she is. But like, does that make you the number one person in the world if you don't, like, instead of just sitting there, do something about that? Because everyone can make a change in the world, even if it's the slightest. Tweeting something isn't like,
that doesn't do anything.
Isn't your best thing to use. There's so many other things you can do to try and say, this is what I stand for and I want to do it. Like, if you want to help someone who is, like, for example, the war between Israel and Palestine, how Israel is trying to take over Palestine, and Palestine said no, and they're like, okay, we're gonna, fuck you over, instead of just saying, wow, I'm so sad. I feel like the feminist thing was a bad example. If you, like, for this, if you just say, wow, I'm so sad, like, I'm so sorry, we need to do something. Obviously, we need to fucking do something. So how about you do something? Because, like, it breaks my heart seeing these things. Like, how do I put this? I have a friend who is Palestinian, and she is such a great person, and just, it's so devastating seeing her home kind of being, like, overthrown right now. So instead of just, like, tweeting about whatever, do something. Sign a fucking petition, maybe. Do something. If you have enough money, go there and try and help.
Even if it's something small, because you can sit there and type on your computer all day and put your views out there. But nothing is ever going to get accomplished if you're not going to get out there and do something about it.
Express your views, and if people don't like it, fuck them. Because if you tweet, you're probably going to get blasted even more,
Yeah, what does tweeting do? Like, for anyone, it's like, yeah, you're putting your opinions out there, cool, but if you really feel so strongly about something, then get out there.
Act on it, Like, I'm an absolute animal activist. I'm not a vegan, but I am a vegetarian, and I definitely am an animal activist, and I've donated, I've volunteered at shelters, or I've been trying to volunteer at shelters because I'm too young. I try and help every stray I see. I act on it instead of just like, and maybe some situations are harder than others. I get that. I completely understand that. But, do your best instead of just attacking other people, like, stand on your views. Stand on them. My point is, I know that sounds like I was getting a little off topic, but instead of just attacking each other and bickering and being annoying, fucking do something. Just do something. Seriously. You know what? And one of the major things is voting. Like, vote. Right? Am I wrong?
No.
Because, like, if you don't vote, that's like a major act, That is such a major act.
You are exercising your right as an American citizen to affect and elect a U.S. official.
Yeah.
Who's going to run shit in your life. So, I think it's a great thing.
It's definitely a way to act upon what you believe in.
Just... You can't vote the list. Perfectly eligible.
Yeah. Do something. That's really what I think about it, just because when I see people on Twitter saying shit like, alright, this is something I saw. Of course, it's so hard to, like, I know people are in bad situations, or, whatever, like, but just like tweeting about Hurricane Harvey or Irma or you know, the earthquake or Maria or Puerto Rico, you know, um, help. You know, Beyonce literally made a song and is donating every single thing to Puerto Rico. You know, like, that's fucking great. You know? Honestly, I don't know where I'm going with this.
I think it's fantastic, though. Like, you're so right.
Yeah. I think it's just, honestly, I feel like we need to stand up for, especially, I don't even think this natural disaster is something that you can, like, I think we can all get together and do something about it, you know? There's no fighting, and all, but of course there is fighting about it, for some reason or whatever, you know? We can all just kind of stand up and, you know.
Have you ever heard the saying, and this is a saying that I learned in history class, but like I like live by this so much. It's something along the lines of like, I can spend my entire life fighting against your opinion, but I will fight to the death for your right to say it.
Yes.
It's basically saying, like, yes, I can disagree with you 100% as far as what your opinion is, but you should exercise the right to express it, to say it, to do something about it. It doesn't matter who you are. You know, it's such an important thing nowadays.
And I agree.
But a lot of people are just so, like, caught up, and we just need to take a step back, calm down, recollect, just, it's getting so bad. I have, more times than not, I have debated deleting all my social media. Mm-hmm. Instagram, Twitter. I really don't use Instagram. Like, I don't post anything. I don't do anything. I just talk to people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, DMs and stuff. Snapchat, I really don't use either. I just use it to, like, stay in touch with some of my friends. But, like, it's just gotten so bad because political opinions to me are toxic. Because, like, yes, everyone has them, and they're great to have, but when it gets to the point where you just shout out, I'm voting for this person because of this, I'm voting for that person because of that, you are taking the people who are closest to you in your life, and you are risking losing them all. Because what if two best friends have totally different opinions? One's a really major conservative, one's a really major liberal. What's going to happen to them?
Yeah.
They're going to be done. It's just so ridiculous because, like, I truly believe that people should just leave political opinions out of certain things. If it's an important topic,
I agree.
Okay, but talk to people who will listen to you and who will be productive about it, because you can't just shout out your opinion to somebody. This is how I feel. Well, great. Why don't I give you a pat on the back and a fucking lollipop? But that's not going to do anything. Because people are going to listen to you, yeah, but the only thing that's going to come out of that is anger and hatred.
Absolutely.
Because I can just sit here and talk about my opinion all day. But it's really more about who's listening to it, who you are directing your opinions to. Because if you are going to try and, you know, deliver your opinion out there, then, like, what are you trying to go for? What is your goal? Are you trying to change something? Well, that's not going to fucking work. If you're going to tweet at somebody, like, I feel that this and this is wrong, then you know what? If that person's going to do something about it and take it into consideration, whoop-de-fucking-do. But you cannot go around to your family and friends that will have different opinions and just spout out your fucking bullshit, because you know what? Those people are the people that are going to be there for you for your whole life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter at the end, because if you just look at life, political opinions, religious beliefs, all of it aside, we're people, and we need to be here for each other.
Absolutely.
Because we don't know why we're here, we don't know anything. And it's so disgusting to see that something as stupid as political opinions is, like, tearing us apart.
Absolutely.
And I hate it. I hate it so much. because, like, me and my family, like, we bicker so much about it, and I'm just like, we need to drop this subject, and no, they keep going on and on and on. And I see myself distancing myself, and it's, like, so bad. It's like, I'm just like, we're a very close family. We do not need to be talking about this shit.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I know.
I don't even know how this conversation started, to be honest with you.
Totally fucking agree with you.
It's so ridiculous. Like,
but
yes, we will talk about it because we're mature. Fucking, I don't want to say adults. We're not adults, but we're mature enough to deliver our opinions in a way that we won't fucking go off.
Absolutely.
About it.
I think though that if you want to express your opinion, and when you said that quote, I was like, absolutely. But why would you use your opinion to hate on someone else? Of course, I think that it's great to deliver your opinion, whatever, but, you know, as you said, there is a time and a place to say it. But, for example, the protests in Charlottesville, they did have a right to be there. I get it. But why would you want to hate? You know? Why would you want to hate someone? Hating is such a negative thing, and it's such a horrible thing. If I was the mayor of that town, it would have broken my heart to have said yes, and I would have spoken out on it. I would have said, this is not, like, I would have said something, you know, I would have done something. Of course they have their right to say it, but why? You know? Why do you think that you are above someone else? And okay, let me just get this out there. I'm a gay male. I am gay. And I think that when people try and say that their sexual orientation is more important than mine, it's just like,
it's not.
Who are you to say that? You know,
it's not.
Who are you to say that your race is more, it's better than whoever's? You know, because if we hate and we hate and we hate, we're gonna tear each other apart, and this world's gonna go to fucking shreds. Like, obviously, we're halfway there. You know, like it's
more than halfway. We're inching.
We really,
it's like the fucking
really,
ozone layer. It's just thinning out.
Really,
sooner or later, it's gonna be gone.
I just don't understand why we would advocate. Hey, why can't we just open our eyes and see? And I really can't put my head in people's shoes like that, so I can't really say what they think. I feel like we should just kind of have open arms for each other and just be like,
no matter who you are, because it doesn't matter. We're all people. That's the bottom line.
It breaks my heart to see that people like the KKK and neo-Nazis are just still out there when we can be like, okay, but what if you say, and I know it's hard, it really is, but what if you say, maybe you should think about something different, like, it's not the 1950s anymore, it's not, slavery anymore, we're people, and we do things, and we can become successful, we can become someone, and if you want to tear someone down just because of something they were born with, you know, that's on you. And I have every right.
I have a little bit of a counter-argument. A little bit.
Sure, go ahead.
And I feel like you're not going to agree with this at first, but hear me out. So, you were mentioning hate groups such as the KKK and neo-Nazis.
Yes.
And I would never, ever, ever back them up, ever. No, fuck them, they're awful people. But when you kind of think about it and, like, get your head out of all these opinions and just take a step back and look at things from a rational point of view, you start to realize that some of these groups that are advocating love and acceptance are kind of doing the same thing.
In a sense.
You hear me? Because listen to this. the whole Black Lives Matter thing. Of course, I'm in support of like black people being justified and equalized, because they are people. I am not a racist person. I never have been. Like, I have many friends that are all different races. But the thing is, though, when groups start saying, "Oh, well," and then I'm not saying this is what Black Lives Matter stands for. I'm just saying, as a whole, people who believe this, they say like, "Oh, well, you've been treating black people like this for so long. Well, now we're gonna work so hard to try to treat white people that way."
That's what I don't understand about.
That's what I don't agree with.
When people
like,
use
the Black Lives Matter people fucking kidnapping that boy with a mental, like, he had some kind of mental disorder. He was, I think he was slow, I believe. They kidnapped that boy and tortured him because he was white.
Here's the thing. I totally get that it's like, this is what I've always been bothered about, because I am a supporter of Black Lives Matter. I really am. I know what it's about, and I get it. The whole thing, the whole meaning behind it is, we are equal.
Sometimes that's not what they...
That's not what... Because that's why people get a different idea about it, you know? It's trying to say that black people are equal to everyone else.
Of course.
Absolutely. That's just... Because, let's be real, the most privileged people are, of course, white, straight people. You know, it's just a fact. Black people are trying to counteract the hate groups like KKK and the neo-Nazis or whatever, and saying that we are absolutely equal to you. But when people take it too far and try to say, like, I get it if you're saying, like, oh my god, white people, you know, like, it's a joke. It's not something serious.
Of course, but when it becomes...
But when you take it too far, you are completely disregarding the fact that Black Lives Matter means that we are all equal, that we are all one another. And
I can say that all lives matter.
I get that, but a lot of people who are supportive of all lives matter use it in a sense to counteract the Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter is technically saying all lives matter. It really is.
But it's kind of evolved into something that, you know, all you hear in the news is how they are dragging old white men out of their cars and beating the shit out of them.
Those are people who take it too far.
Kidnapping boys with special needs and torturing them for 3 weeks. You know?
And I don't think that's fair.
I don't think it is either, because I have gotten a bad taste in my mouth from Bad Lives Matter. Bad Lives Matter, yeah. Black Lives Matter. You know, for a long time, and I've just thought to myself, like, I don't fucking agree with this at all, but what I needed to do was take a step back and realize, well, maybe they're just trying to taint their image and try to get whatever they know, you know, news sells. You know, try to put out there what they think is going to get people to listen and, you know, make ad revenue and money for them.
The whole point of it was to show that everyone is equal, and people...
And I support that, absolutely.
People that take it just, like, way too far and hurt other people, and you can say the absolute same thing for whoever else, you know?
Yeah.
Like, people use these platforms, like, for example, people use their platform as a Muslim to be a terrorist, which is obvious. That's, like, not even, you could say the same thing for Christians, too.
Yeah.
But with that, everyone kind of puts, like, a blanket over them, if that makes any sense.
They, like, associate them.
Yeah.
Like, they
think
oh, well,
everyone
this person's using their platform as a Muslim to be a terrorist. Well, now, all Muslims are terrorists.
And you could say the same for, like, this person is a Republican. Guess he's racist. He's a
Nazi, he's a racist, yeah, like, all that.
This person supports Black Lives Matter. Guess they want to fucking kill white people. Like, it's just like...
Mm-hmm. It's awful, and I feel like, this is kind of off topic, but I feel like us, like, we're gonna learn a lot, too, during this podcast.
Oh, absolutely.
We bounce ideas off each other so much that we actually, like, I learned a thing or two today, because before I came here, I did not support Black Lives Matter, because I didn't realize that, like, of course I believe Black Lives Matter, I'm just saying, as the group as a whole, I just felt like we're very terrorist-esque.
Yeah. Well, you can't always.
I realize that that's not why they were.
You can't always think that, because, like, it really. When you look at everything, it's like we put blankets over people, we put stereotypes over people, and that's what makes us hate each other. It really is what makes us hate each other. So why don't we not do that? And then we can not hate each other, you know? Because, like, if we fucking do that, then, like, everything is gonna be... Because we always put stereotypes in each other. And with that, maybe we wouldn't have to have, like... I know it's so crazy, but, like... The Republican and Democratic Party are just, like... clashing at each other. And the whole reason that they were made was because two people were clashing at each other. So people take these two groups... Yeah. People take these two groups, and they're like... They had to separate them, you know?
But in reality, it's just two opposing ideas.
It really is.
That don't have to fucking clash, because in the end, America's system of government is fair. It was created in the Constitution to be fair. People vote, people get elected.
And it is fair.
And that's how it works. And this is the most fair country in the world.
I mean, to an extent, of course, because, like, to an extent, it is the most...
It's fair.
It is fair, but, like, for example, like, when it comes to, like, taxes and,
of course,
you know, all that, like, it really is,
I mean, like, as far as people having a say.
People take their, people take their stances in government.
Yeah, people, you know, the right to assemble, peacefully assemble.
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, freedom of the press. It's all in the First Amendment, you know?
Yep.
That gave us the power to speak out on issues that we feel are prominent and need to be discussed. But honestly, it's getting a little late. So I think we're going to call it in.
Yep, okay. It's been successful. 42 minutes.
Of course, I think it's great because...
yeah, I think
we're good at talking.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing.
Okay. Well...
before we finish it, I just want to say, this has nothing to do with what we just said, but, like, next episode, I kind of want to talk about something a little more light.
For sure. I actually kind of want to end on a note that's saying, I don't know if I told you this, Kevin, but I'm very excited to say that, I mentioned the Kesha thing before, Kesha's going to be on the cover of a Rolling Stone magazine.
I saw that on Twitter, and I was very excited. I was very happy for her.
So I'm very excited about that. I cannot wait.
Great. I'm not happy for her.
Next week, I think we should talk about just, maybe AHS Cole, I'm thinking?
Yeah.
Alright. Deal. So next week we're going to talk about AHS Cole.
Talking about American Horror Story Cult. Probably going to go on 20 tangents. Like we always do.
Conspiracy theories, maybe.
Of course.
Titties.
Clowns, who they are.
Yep.
By the way, if anyone watching this doesn't watch American Horror Story Cult, watch it. Because everything is not going to make sense to you.
Yep. I absolutely agree.
If you don't watch it, because
in
reality we're going to probably end up just talking about it for 3 minutes and then end up talking about politics again.
Maybe so, but we can absolutely try to not do that.
Yeah.
I just think politics is... with you, it's so much fun to talk about just because, like, it's like, oh, alright. You know?
I'm not going to get pissed about it and be like, you're a motherfucker, because you did it. Like, shut up.
Yeah.
Stop being a cunt.
Also because, like, I'm fake. Just kidding. So yeah. I mean, that was fun. Alright.
Thank you for watching.
Good first podcast.
HR podcast.
Good first podcast. And I guess we'll see you guys next week. Alright.
Yeah. yeah, fun.
Bye, guys.